I watched my own truck vanish behind the tow rig, and for a split second, I actually thought it was gone for good. Then the dispatcher's voice crackled over the radio. "Sir, the caller says it's stolen." Stolen from my own driveway, in my own neighborhood, and the woman pointing at it like she had just solved the century's biggest crime. My HOA's favorite Karen. I'd moved into Maple Ridge, seeking quiet. Neat lawns, kids riding bikes, a place where the loudest thing at night was a sprinkler clicking on. After years chasing emergencies at 2 a.m., peace felt like a luxury. My truck was the only thing that stood out. Heavy-duty, dark SUV-style pickup, state-issued, low-profile, no flashy decals. But anyone who knew vehicles would recognize it. Spotlights tucked in antenna mounts, the kind of rig people assume belongs to government work, but aren't sure. I kept it spotless, parked within the rules, never making it anyone else's concern. That was my assumption. The HOA president, Linda McCraw, or Mrs. McCraw, as everyone called her like she ran a school, was mid-50s, sharp haircut, sharper smile, clipboard practically fused to her hands. First time I met her, I was unloading groceries. She didn't say hello, didn't glance at the bags. "Is that your vehicle?" she asked, tone flat, like she was interrogating a suspect. "Yes, ma'am," I said reflexively. "It's not compliant," she declared immediately. I blinked. Not compliant with what? She held the clipboard like a judge reading a verdict. Neighborhood aesthetic guidelines. No commercial vehicles overnight. I looked at my truck. No logos, no business markings, no ladders, no tools. Not commercial. She smiled, not really smiling. "We'll see." First mini warning. Shrug worthy, right? Adults don't behave like this. But letters followed. Vehicle appearance. Parking alignment. Driveway visibility. Each one read as if a curb were sacred scripture. I stayed calm. Rechecked the HOA rules. Commercial vehicles explicitly defined. Mine didn't qualify. No mention of unmarked government vehicles. Nothing about aesthetics. I emailed politely. Citations, dates, photos, calm tone. Linda didn't respond with reason. She escalated. One evening, I returned home to a bright orange notice plastered on my windshield like a warning flare. Neighbor across the street stepped out to gawk. Unauthorized vehicle stored on property. Tow scheduled within 48 hours. I looked up. Linda was watching from the sidewalk, not hiding, just watching like a hawk. I approached, notice in hand. "Linda, this is absurd. It's not commercial. I'm following the rules." She tilted her head. "Are you sure?" Not confusion, not curiosity, challenge. "I'm sure," I said. She tapped her clipboard. "Then you'll have no trouble proving it to the board." I stared. This is a neighborhood, not a courtroom. She leaned closer, voice low, conspiratorial. "We take safety very seriously here." "Safety?" "I deal with real danger, real threats, not mailbox shades." "I'm not a threat," I said calmly. Her gaze lingered on my truck. "That's not what everyone thinks." Over the next day, subtle things. Neighbors peeking, whispers as I passed, HOA group chat buzzing about whose truck this was. I stayed silent publicly. But privately, I called my admin at headquarters to double-check registration. Plates, insurance. Everything was clean. I went to bed thinking, fine, let her try. If she sends a tow, I'll handle it in the morning. I didn't expect her to move faster than sunrise. At 6:12 a.m., I recognized the sound instantly. Hydraulic lift whining, metal chains clinking, mechanical groan. My truck was being taken. Stomach dropped. I grabbed my phone, sprinted to the window. Tow truck, neon-vested driver hooking my truck. And there she was, Linda, clipboard in hand, robe and slippers like she prepared for a victory parade. I ran outside. "Hey, stop. That's my truck." The driver froze. "Sir, I've got authorization." "It's my vehicle. You can't tow it." He raised a hand, obviously heard this line too many times. Linda stepped forward, eyes bright. "This vehicle isn't registered to this address." I reported it. My mouth went dry. "You reported it as stolen because you don't like it?" She tilted her chin. We can't have suspicious vehicles in Maple Ridge. I turned to the driver. Call your dispatcher. Now. Hesitation. Sir, I'm just following orders. So am I. I said, voice calm but commanding. His posture shifted. He picked up the radio. Dispatch. This is Unit 14. Owners on scene. Vehicle not stolen. Static. Owner name? I took the radio. Commander Ryan Hales, State Highway Patrol. Silence. You could hear Linda's slippers scrape the pavement. Dispatcher's voice sharpened. Commander, repeat. Linda's confidence faltered. I handed back the radio slowly, eyes locked on her. She had no idea how badly she'd miscalculated. Driver dropped the hook like it burned him. Sir, sorry I was told. I know what you're told. I interrupted. Calm, precise. Years of command training were taking over, and Linda finally realized this wasn't going to end the way she thought. The weight of command kicked in naturally. Just unhook it, I said. Linda laughed, not loud, not nervous, short, dismissive. People lie all the time, she said. Anyone can claim law enforcement. I turned to her slowly. You reported my vehicle as stolen. Yes, she said, arms crossed. It didn't belong here. That's a felony. I said, calm, measured. Her smile stiffened. Only if it's false. The dispatcher came back on. Commander, pulling the call record now. The reporting party stated the vehicle was abandoned, unmarked, and suspected stolen. Linda nodded like she'd done something clever. Exactly. Dispatcher, I said, run the plate. Clicks from the keyboard. A pause heavy with tension. Linda shifted. Still confident, certain Shearer would carry her through. Then the dispatcher spoke. Plate returns to State Highway Patrol. Assigned vehicle, active duty. Silence. Heavy, sharp. Linda's face flushed. That doesn't prove anything. She snapped. Someone could have copied the plate. I laughed, short, incredulous. You think I cloned a state vehicle to park in my own driveway? She jabbed a finger at my truck. You never told anyone what you did? That's suspicious. Private, I said. Not illegal. The tow driver edged away from her, like proximity itself was contagious. Neighbors started appearing. Doors opening. Phones out. One man across the street was already recording. Linda noticed. Her voice rose. This HOA exists to protect homeowners. Strange vehicles threaten safety. I stepped closer, voice calm. You didn't call the HOA. You didn't call me. You called it stolen. She swallowed. Cooperate. That word hung. You didn't ask. You decided. I said. The dispatcher cut in. Ma'am, recorded line. You are the reporting party. Any evidence vehicle was stolen. Linda hesitated. Just a second, but enough. It was unauthorized in our neighborhood. Unauthorized isn't stolen. The dispatcher said flatly. Do you wish to amend your statement? Linda looked around at neighbors, the tow driver, me. Confidence cracked. Something raw pushed through. No. Tow it anyway. HOA rules. That's not how this works, I said. She spun. You think your badge makes you above the rules? No, I said, but it does mean I know when someone crosses a line. Dispatcher, slow, deliberate. Ma'am, making a false stolen vehicle report is serious. An officer will be dispatched to your location for statements. Her mouth opened, closed, open again. Unnecessary, she said. Already happening, the dispatcher replied. Realization hit her in waves. Fear, anger, frantic attempt at control. You set me up, she accused. I shook my head. You did this to yourself. Sirens weren't loud yet, but I knew they were coming. Linda stepped back, clutching her clipboard like armor. Then she did something shocking. She shouted at the neighbors, He's intimidating me. Retaliation. Every head turned. Every phone stayed raised. I clenched my jaw. Wrong. Desperate. Reckless. The first patrol car rolled in under 5 minutes. Another followed, blue lights washing over manicured lawns like they didn't belong. The neighbors who argue about trash cans now watched quietly. Phones out. 2 officers stepped out. One recognized me. Posture snapped straight. Morning, Commander. Linda's grip on the clipboard loosened. Papers slipped onto the pavement. Yet she didn't pick them up. Officers separated us. Routine, professional. One spoke to me, the other to her. I answered calmly. Vehicle registered to state, parked legally, no violations, no theft. Linda, on the other hand, spoke fast, too fast. HOA rules neighborhood safety, weeks of monitoring my truck. Her story shifted ever so slightly, enough to make the officer frown. Then the question, "Ma'am, why didn't you contact the HOA or homeowner before calling it stolen?" She hesitated. "I didn't feel safe," she said. "Why?" He pressed. She looked at my truck, at me, then whispered the truth. I thought he was impersonating law enforcement. Silence. "So you reported it stolen?" "Yes," she said, relieved, like finally something made sense. "And why?" He refused to cooperate. I found out later he makes more than someone in this neighborhood should. The street went dead silent. Even I wasn't ready. The officer wrote slowly. "So no evidence of theft, no impersonation. You assumed." "I was protecting the community," she said. Officer's tone shifted. "Ma'am, you knowingly made a false report. You escalated a civil HOA matter into a criminal allegation." Linda's voice faltered. "I didn't know," he said firmly. "You didn't." She tried one last offense. Intimidation. Position. I stepped in, calm, firm. "I never identified myself until asked. I never threatened you. I only stopped you from taking property that wasn't yours." Officer nodded. Call logs pulled. Recording played. Linda's confident voice declaring my truck stolen echoed back. Silence. Panic replaced arrogance. Options explained. Citation. Formal report. Possible charges to DA. Permanent record of false report. She began sobbing, loud, shaky, the kind meant to reset reality. "Your job," I said softly, "was landscaping fees, not weaponizing police." Twist no one expected. Later, HOA emailed the neighborhood. Linda removed as president, effective immediately. Apologies polite, careful. Neighbor pulled me aside days later. Her motive? Forcing a sale on my property. She believed it was owned by an out-of-state investor, possibly for government use. If labeled unsafe or criminal, HOA could pressure sale. Her brother-in-law? Real estate agent. Control wasn't enough. Profit was the goal. Tow company sent apology. Police closed report with her name attached. My truck? Never moved. Now, every morning when I pull out, the street is quiet. Not because of HOA rules, but because everyone learned one thing. Some lines aren't neighborhood boundaries. Cross them, and you can't pretend it's about safety. If you enjoyed this story, hit that subscribe button. Every subscription motivates me to bring more dramatic HOA stories. Tap the bell so you never miss an upload. Next story? Justice gets even more satisfying.